Welcome back, dear listeners, to the world beneath the world. In our last episode, we explored the hidden speakeasy tunnels of Prohibition-era New York. The secret passages where flappers, mobsters, and jazz musicians kept the party going when the law said, absolutely not. But tonight, we're staying after last call. Because when the lights went out and the music stopped, something else stayed behind. These tunnels may be bricked over, forgotten, and flooded. But according to construction crews, bar owners, and a few unfortunate plumbers, not everything that moves underground is alive. So grab your EMF reader and your gin. This is Ghosts of the Speakeasy Tunnels, the haunted side of New York's underground.
The echoes beneath McSorley's.
We begin where so many stories do, with a creaky wooden floor, a pint of ale, and an Irish ghost who refuses to mind his own business. McSorley's old ale house has been around since 1854, and beneath it, workers uncovered a hidden storage tunnel lined with kegs and bottles sealed shut since Prohibition. But ever since that discovery, staff and patrons alike have reported phantom footsteps from below, especially after midnight. A longtime bartender once said he heard a voice say, "Pull one for me," when he was closing up alone. No one was there. The next morning, a full mug of ale sat on the bar, still frothy. Either the ghost wanted a drink, or it's just the most polite bar spirit in Manhattan. Either way, I'd tip it.
Booze be gone, ghost spray. Tired of your haunted bar patrons not paying their tabs? Try Booze Be Gone Ghost Spray. Scientifically proven to remove 98% of restless spirits and 100% of customers named Chad. Now available at select bodegas, right next to the Sage bundles and expired Red Bulls. Booze Be Gone, because not all spirits are friendly.
The Cotton Club and the Phantom Band.
In the 1930s, Harlem's Cotton Club was the epicenter of jazz and danger. Its owner, gangster Oni the Killer Madden, used tunnels to sneak liquor and occasionally himself out of police raids. But musicians who've performed there in modern times swear the club still swings after hours. When the lights are off and the sound system dead, faint trumpet solos have been heard drifting through the floor. One janitor even recorded it on his phone, a haunting version of "It Don't Mean a Thing if it ain't got that swing." Experts claim it's echoes from the subway below. But jazz lovers prefer to think it's Duke Ellington himself, still riffing from the other side, the afterlife's most exclusive gig. And you just know St. Peter's up there like, "Duke, buddy, it's been 80 years. Clock out already."
The 21 Club's locked room.
The 21 Club, perhaps the most famous speakeasy of all, has its own resident apparition. During renovations in the 1980s, workers uncovered a small bricked-over chamber in the sub-basement filled with broken bottles, melted candles, and an old stool facing the wall. The story goes that a watchman guarding the liquor stash during Prohibition vanished one night and was never seen again. Now, staff say that the motion sensors in that part of the building go off at 2:21 a.m. every night, despite no one being there. One guard even claims he followed the sound of shuffling footsteps into the tunnel, only to find a bottle of 1920s whiskey sitting upright on the floor with a cork halfway out. Some people leave notes, some leave voicemails, others just leave bourbon.
Afterlife Insurance. This episode is sponsored by Afterlife Insurance, the only policy that covers hauntings, hexes, and unexpected apparitions. Tired of paying rent with a ghost roommate who doesn't chip in? We've got you covered. Plans start at just $6.66 a month, because eternity is expensive. Afterlife Insurance, because dying shouldn't mean losing your deposit.
The subway that sang.
Not all ghost stories involve old bars. Some are buried deeper. In 2011, maintenance workers under Canal Street discovered a sealed service tunnel with remnants of tile mosaics and, strangely, dozens of empty whiskey bottles dated between 1922 and 1931. But that wasn't the strange part. When they opened the tunnel, one worker said he heard what sounded like a full band tuning up. faint brass, shuffling feet, then silence. They thought it was reverb from nearby trains until they realized the tracks above were inactive. The tunnel was resealed. But to this day, subway conductors on the late-night shift report unexplained music under Canal Street, a kind of ghostly swing band in perpetual rehearsal. Imagine being a ghost and still stuck playing second trumpet. That's the real punishment.
The Whiskey Wells of Brooklyn.
In 1994, during restoration work in the Brooklyn Navy Yard, workers uncovered several hidden passageways once used for smuggling whiskey off ships during Prohibition. Inside one chamber, archaeologists found 2 rusted flasks engraved with initials, JM and LR, along with a pocket watch frozen at 11:47 p.m. When the watch was cleaned and inspected, it began ticking again, briefly. Then it stopped. Locals claim that the 2 initials belonged to Joseph Mancini and Louis Rocco, bootleggers who drowned in a warehouse flood in 1928. People say that if you stand near the old tunnel entrance after midnight, you can hear men laughing, followed by the sound of rushing water. Ah, yes, the classic Brooklyn love story. 2 guys, 1 heist, and a bad case of drowning while drunk.
The Ghosts of Chumley's.
Chumley's, the literary speakeasy on Bedford Street, has long been haunted by more than just the ghost of Hemingway's ego. After renovations reopened it in the 2000s, staff began noticing strange occurrences. Books flying from shelves, glasses shattering when no one was nearby, and, most chillingly, the sound of a door creaking open to a tunnel that no longer exists. Paranormal investigators claim there's residual energy from patrons who once fled police raids. Some EVP recordings even picked up voices saying, 86 it, the old slang for get out. You know you've made it as a bar when even your ghosts are shouting last call.
Spirited security systems. Are your motion detectors going off but you live alone? Protect your haunted home with spirited security systems, featuring 24/7 ghost monitoring and sage-scented air fresheners. Because when the dead want in, we'll make sure they knock first.
Modern ghost hunts in old tunnels.
Paranormal investigators across the city have turned these tunnels into their playgrounds. The New York Paranormal Society once explored an abandoned tunnel beneath Mulberry Street rumored to have been part of an Italian speakeasy. Using thermal cameras, they captured what looked like 2 glowing figures, one seated at a table, the other standing behind a bar. When they tried to re-enter weeks later, the tunnel had mysteriously flooded, with clean, clear water, even though every other nearby passage was bone dry. Meanwhile, urban explorers in Harlem recorded the sound of piano keys echoing through an inaccessible basement near 125th Street. The building above? Once a jazz club raided by the feds in 1929. You can shut down a speakeasy, but you can't shut up a jazz ghost.
Spirit Box Bar Edition. Want to contact the other side and order a cocktail? Introducing Spirit Box Bar Edition. It's part ghost detector, part drink mixer. Just say gin and tonic. And maybe, just maybe, your great-grandfather will join you for one. Spirit Box. Because who doesn't want a haunted happy hour?
New York has always been a city of stories, and some of them just don't stop, even after death. These tunnels were built to hide the wildest parts of human nature: joy, defiance, laughter, and of course, gin. Maybe that's why their ghosts remain, not as warnings, but as reminders that life, even underground, was worth celebrating. So next time you're in a bar that feels just a little too old, and you hear faint jazz when there's no band playing, don't panic, just raise your glass. Someone, somewhere, might be toasting back. I'm Amy, and this has been the Strange History Podcast. Stay curious, stay spooky, and if you hear a trumpet under your feet, maybe pour one out.